Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Let's get into Chapter 10. Tuesday, June 24th. Chapter 10. Daniel. Maybe it was something my dad had said, or maybe I needed more pain in my life, but I called Xander. You'd think I would call Ashley, but I dreaded that conversation. Our last one had not gone well. Xander hadn't sounded right. I called. He answered the video chat in 2 rings. Hi. His hair was rumpled, he hadn't shaved, and his eyes were hollow. I could have sworn he was still wearing the clothes I had seen him in on Saturday. Sometimes vid chats are not a good idea. Hi yourself. Do you know what time it is? Xander said. It's 9 in the morning here. What time is it there? A safe topic. 6. Xander stifled a yawn. Why did you call? Check on the weather. How is it? Too hot and too dry. Your dad said you went to Hawaii. What's their weather like? Humid with random rain. An awkward silence followed. I knew he was still there. Well, it was vid chat. Plus, I could still hear him. I better let you get to work, I said. He nodded. We hung up. Success. At least he hadn't yelled at me for ruining his life. Should I try and salvage this relationship? We had known each other far longer than Ashley and I had known each other. Funny, he was the one I worried about, not Ashley. Maybe I could relate more to his pain than Ashley's anger. Whatever. Ilio had left for work an hour earlier, so I left my stuff with Barney, jogged what I thought was a 5-kilometer distance, and started yoga. Sunrise yoga. Best time of the morning to be alive. At first I was alone, but soon after Yoga Lady and Stacy Colwyn joined us. Then a dozen others. Yoga Lady looked around. I could swear she was counting, then joined in the poses. An hour later, the big bodyguard came over and said, "She said it was a good workout." I nodded. She nodded. I don't think anyone realized who she was when she wasn't wearing some blonde wig and strange shoes. What did it matter on a yoga mat? I went back to the sand crab and logged in and started my work. Working in Hawaii. Me. Me and my boss instant messaged every few minutes, and I don't know about him, but I got a lot of work done. At 11, Ilio came in, chatted with Barney about who knows what, and came over with a cup of coffee for me and a Coca-Cola for him. He struck me as a frat party boy type, but he never drank. Coca-Cola was as heavy as he got. I don't drink either, so I guess it doesn't matter. I got an idea for when I get off work. Will I like it? We'll see. Get into your board shorts. It's time you got wet. I already told you I can't swim. Ilio smiled one of his smiles that made my heart stop. I've got you covered. Nothing will go wrong. Famous last words. I'll meet you at where I do yoga. After lunch, I sanded the board. Every time I had finished a spot, I found another one to sand. It looked fine, but the feel was off. It had a large knot on the side, so I sanded again. I didn't like the curve of the edges, so I sanded there. Finally, I gave up, walked back to my room and changed. Weird as it sounds, I put the Speedo on as well. Underwear for swimwear. Okay, Ilio was right. It did keep everything in place. I tucked the room card in a pocket, locked everything up, and went to the yoga spot. Tuesdays at the beach are not too crowded. Definitely not like on Sunday. A little after 3, Ilio jogged over in red board shorts with a wooden board he had never unloaded from his car, and a fluorescent yellow life vest. Put this on, he tossed the life vest to me. I did. Where's yours? You're the guy who can't swim. This is one of the lifeguard vests with a built-in GPS. If, for some reason, you get lost, I'll find you. I'm getting lost. You are so paranoid. Ilio grabbed my hand and pulled me to the water. I splashed in it, getting wet up to my ankles. Deeper. Ilio pulled me into an area where the water rose up to my knees and set the board down on the water. It floated. I knew it would, but it still surprised me. Now I started to panic. Are you sure about this? Lay down on the board. I tried, and the board slipped out from under me. I had my first drenching in the Pacific. Ilio grinned. Not like that. He showed me. I tried again, holding the sides like I was on a roller coaster. Ilio half lay on the end of the board behind me, chest and arms holding the board, leaving his legs in the water. He pulled me back to him a little, so I was lying towards the rear. My butt's in your face. Not like you aren't enjoying it. Start paddling. He started kicking, I started paddling, and we sped onto the ocean. The reason we're going faster than you think is because we're traveling with the riptide. Riptide? We don't have those in the desert. What is it? Laying on the water, it just seemed like we were speeding along. Waves break on the shore all the time. Where does that water go? I never thought about it. They go to the riptides. Riptides are where the current takes the water back to the ocean. An untrained swimmer, say yourself, Could get caught in one, and the next thing you know, you're 100 yards offshore. And you brought me out here? Relax. Ilio adjusted my position a little. You get in the right current, and you'll sail back to shore. You have a vest. You have nothing to worry about. How do you know where the right current is? You ride it. That's what we're going to do. Somehow, Ilio knew where to go, or what to look for, or I don't know. He angled us just right, and I felt us rise. It felt like yards, but it was only a few feet, and somehow he caught the wave. I still don't know how he did it. And we rode it back to shore. I let my fingers trail in the water. I smiled. Actually, my smile covered half my face. Wow, so that was surfing. It was fun. We rode another one of those riptides out to catch another wave. He lined us up and caught it, and we spilled into the surf. I kicked into the water, flailed my arms. He laughed, swam over to the board, and brought it over to me. You're not in the desert anymore. I couldn't stop smiling, so I splashed him a little. He splashed me back. I made a huge mistake. So how do I get back on the board, babe? He pulled me over to him and the board and lightly kissed me. You teased. You just don't know when to stop. He held the board steady and I climbed on. We lined up again, and this time we sailed back to shore. Wait until I tell Dad about this. You want to try again? I nodded. Out we went, perhaps a little further than before. He lined us up again. I held on, and over we went. The water wasn't scary anymore. It was fun, as long as I was with Ilio. Help, a little voice said. I looked around and saw a bobbing head about 10 yards away. There, I pointed. You've got the best. You'll be okay. I nodded. The ocean became scary again the moment he left. He took the board to the little head and pulled a woman out of the water and laid her on the board as I had been. She didn't move much, and her skin was gray. He paddled back over. I think she must have swallowed some water. I don't think I can balance both of you on this board. I'm taking her to shore and then coming back for you. Will you be okay until I return? I couldn't swim, but I had the vest. The ocean wasn't the scariest place I had ever been, really. Maybe if I lied to myself some more I might believe it. I bluffed. I'll be fine. Get her to shore. I watched him surf away and become a little dot swallowed up by the waves. The current sent me one way, then another. Before long I was facing out at the endless desert of blue. It was quiet, except for the subtle lapping of the waves, or some bird squawking above. In the distance I saw a couple of pelicans dipping into the water and flying up again. The clouds were odd puffball shapes on the horizon, and above me was that Hawaiian blue sky. I don't know how long I stared at the horizon, but a fin emerged. Shark? Killer whales? No, it leaped half out of the water, splashing as it hit, gray and sleek and shiny. They were beautiful. Dolphins. Another one jumped, then a smaller one. A pod of 7 dolphins. The little kid woke inside of me, and I wanted to see more. The first one swam up to the surface, jumping again. Then they swam and dove. I looked down, trying to see them, but the water was too murky. The fear was gone. In its place was wonder. My chest opened, and I tried to swim towards them. I scanned the horizon, searching for their fins. I found them, closer this time, and the lead one jumped. The others followed. Dad used to watch the Nature Channel, and somewhere I had seen some swimming once. It didn't capture how you felt when you saw them live. I didn't see them again. I searched, but found only the pelicans and seagulls. This was the ocean. This was Ilio. I leaned back as best I could and watched the clouds. For the first time since I had arrived, I was at peace. The wedding disaster didn't matter right now. The mess I had made of so many people's lives didn't matter right now. The disaster that was my life didn't matter anymore. I closed my eyes and fluttered my arms in the water. Warm. It felt so good. Somehow I figured out how to turn around and look at the island. I was further out than I thought. I figured that much if I had seen dolphins. Honolulu rose up. The mountain behind it was ringed with clouds. Do they need an accountant out here? Could I seriously move out here? To show how warped my workaholic brain was, I started to figure out the numbers and prices, what I could afford to spend. In Hawaii, staring at the most beautiful sights ever, and my brain was working numbers. No wonder Ashley and Xander had an affair. I'm pathetic. I don't know how long I was there, or how many seagulls and pelicans and other birds I saw. I was there long enough for my fingers to get wrinkled. A motor sounded in the distance, breaking the stillness. It grew closer and closer. A jet ski with 2 people on it. The second one was Ilio. He waved and I waved back. He'd never believed what I saw. I still don't believe it. It was one of the lifeguard jet skis, with a cute guy driving. Not as cute as Ilio, but good enough. Told you I'd be back. Ilio held out his hand and helped me climb aboard, and I sat behind him. Hold on tight.
I grabbed Ilio around the waist. His skin was warm, tight against his muscles. I lay my head against his shoulder and enjoyed the ride back to shore.